Chapter 2207. The world behind the castle looked like a small world, with the castle's gate as its entrance. It was also very desolate inside, with not a single blade of grass growing. Moreover, there were some blood-colored puppets scattered around. Blue Cloud and Yen Shi led their clansmen and gathered together. There were about 20 of them, with many experts. Along the way, they killed many blood-colored puppets. At the same time, they also saw a few skeletons, but they were all from the evil god race. There were no treasures left behind. These guys are still thinking about dealing with us. Unforgivable. They even dared to target me. Behind them, Dandan ground his teeth, cold light flashing in his eyes. Lu Ming rubbed his nose, thinking, they were bullied so badly by you. It would be strange if you don't want to take revenge. However, Lu Ming also wanted to get rid of Blue Cloud and the others without anyone knowing. He knew that Dandan was thinking of a plan and immediately asked, "What's your idea?" "Let's lure the evil god race over and let them fight each other." "What do you think?" Dandan suggested. "Great minds think alike. Let's go, let's go." Lu Ming smiled. Then, the two heroes sneakily headed in the direction of the evil god race. The two of them completely concealed their auras and carefully avoided the blood-colored puppets. Not long after, they saw a group of evil god race members. "Evil god race members, die!" Dandan roared and rushed over. Even though he was very far away, he slapped out with his palms. Endless runes condensed into several sword lights, slashing toward the evil god race members. Pooh! Pooh! 2 high-level Void Emperors and a 1-star True Emperor were killed by Dandan directly. Lu Ming took out the fallen star bow from afar and shot out 2 arrows, killing 2 Void Emperors of the evil god race. Heavenly Realm members, kill! The evil god race was enraged. There was a blood feud between the 2 races. Once they met, they would fight to the death. Now, Lu Ming and Dandan actually dared to take the initiative to kill their people. They were simply courting death. Instantly, a group of evil god race members charged toward Dandan and Lu Ming. "Run!" Dandan screamed and turned to run. Behind him, the 6-feathered divine wings appeared, and his speed was astonishing. As for Lu Ming, he had already put away his fallen star bow and used his 6-feathered divine wings to rush towards Blue Cloud and the others. Soon, they saw Blue Cloud and the others. "Blue Cloud, come and help us. Let's kill those evil god tribe bastards together." Lu Ming and Dandan both shouted and rushed towards Blue Cloud and the others. Blue Cloud and the others were carefully exploring when they suddenly heard a few loud shouts. Looking in the direction of the sound, Blue Cloud immediately wanted to curse. He saw Lu Ming and Dandan making a big fuss as they rushed over. Behind them, there was a group of evil god tribe members. There were over 20 of them. "All of you, scram!" Blue Cloud roared. Naturally, he did not recognize Lu Ming and Dandan because the 2 of them had disguised themselves. Lu Ming and Dandan did not seem to hear Blue Cloud and continued to make a big fuss as they rushed towards Blue Cloud and the others. When they rushed into Blue Cloud and the others, Dandan shouted, "Kill those bastards from the evil god tribe. You are the ones who will die." The members of the evil god race roared in rage and launched attacks at them. In their opinion, the people of the Heaven Realm were all in the same group. Immediately, 2 Lan family Void Emperors were killed by the evil god tribe. The Lan family and Yen family had no choice but to counterattack and fight with the evil god tribe. However, the Lan family and Yen family had indeed sent many experts. There was 1 high-level True Emperor each, and they were all 6-star True Emperors. They were very powerful. The evil god tribe only had 1 6-star True Emperor and 2 5-star True Emperors. They were suppressed in an instant. The battle between the 2 sides was abnormally fierce, and people were killed continuously. Lu Ming and Dandan flashed through the crowd with astonishing speed, dodging the attacks one after another. In the end, the Yen family and Lan family's top experts were stronger. A 6-star True Emperor killed 2 5-star True Emperors of the evil god tribe. Then, he joined forces with another 6-star true emperor to kill the 6-star true emperor of the evil god tribe. In the end, the 6-star true emperor paid a heavy price and killed the evil god tribe's 6-star true emperor. With the death of the 6-star true emperor, the evil god tribe could no longer resist and scattered. The experts of the Lan family and Yen family caught up and killed them all. In this battle, the evil god tribe was wiped out, but the Lan family and Yen family were also heavily injured. More than 10 of them died in the battle, and a few were seriously injured. Even the 6-star true emperor was heavily injured by the evil god tribe's final counterattack. Blue Cloud and Yen Shi's expression darkened. They looked at Lu Ming and Dandan with murderous intent in their eyes. It was all Lu Ming and Dandan's fault. If they didn't bring the evil god tribe here, they wouldn't have suffered such a great loss. At this time, a figure flickered not far away. People from Celestial World rushed over after hearing the battle. "Thank you for saving us. Otherwise, we would be in danger. People from Celestial World should help each other." Before Blue Cloud's group could speak, Dandan spoke first. With one sentence, he tied them together, making it difficult for Blue Cloud's group to flare up. Blue Cloud and Yen Shi felt their chests tighten and almost vomited blood. Dandan was the first to thank them and tied them to Celestial World. Two World City had a rule that people from Celestial World couldn't kill each other in the battlefield. They had to fight the enemy together. They really couldn't find a reason to deal with Lu Ming and Dandan. Moreover, there were other people here. "The two of you, stay away from us." Blue Cloud gritted his teeth and said. Then, he asked people to keep the storage bracelet left behind by the evil god tribe and left. "What a pity, what a pity." Dandan sighed. He felt it was a pity that the evil god tribe couldn't kill Blue Cloud's group. Lu Ming also felt it was a pity. "Why don't we do it again?" Lu Ming transmitted his voice to Dandan. "Kid, you've become bad. But I like it. He he he." Dandan smiled. Immediately, the two of them sneakily followed behind Blue Cloud's group. This time, Blue Cloud's group was much more cautious and looked around. However, Lu Ming and Dandan's method of concealing their aura was too brilliant. They didn't notice them at all. After secretly observing for a while, the two of them rushed toward the evil god tribe again. After a while, the two of them shouted and rushed toward Blue Cloud's group. "Nest, it's you guys again." Damn it, the moment Blue Cloud saw Lu Ming's group, he cursed. He was really angry. Then, Blue Cloud's group also turned and ran. This time, they didn't want to be taken advantage of. Nest, they actually ran away. "Help!" Dandan screamed miserably. Together with Lu Ming, they chased after Lan Yun and the rest at lightning speed. "Get lost," Blue Cloud roared at the two of them. "We're all from the Celestial Realm, but you guys are leaving us in the lurch." Lu Ming shouted. "You guys are courting death. Don't drag us down with you." Blue Cloud bellowed. "Help!" Chapter 2208. Blue Cloud, Yen Shi, and the rest ran in front while Lu Ming and Dandan chased after them. Behind them were a bunch of evil god tribe experts. The three groups were very fast. In the blink of an eye, they had crossed a large mountain forest. The commotion here finally attracted the attention of others. A group of people flew over. It was the other people from the Heaven Realm. When they saw the evil god tribe, they charged over. When the evil god tribe saw that the number of Heaven Realm experts had increased, they didn't dare to chase after them anymore. They turned around and ran. "What a pity." Dandan sighed. It was a pity that they didn't manage to kill Blue Cloud and the rest this time. "You guys are courting death." At this moment, Blue Cloud was extremely furious. His eyes were filled with killing intent as he led his men and charged toward Lu Ming and Dandan. "What are you guys trying to do? You want to attack your own people in this battlefield?" Dandan shouted immediately. "You guys have brought the evil god tribe members to charge at us time and time again. I suspect that you guys are doing it on purpose to frame us. Blue Cloud said coldly. Bullshit, I do have a grudge with the evil god tribe. When I see them, I don't want to let them go. Hence, I went to kill them. However, there are too many of them, so we can only run. I didn't expect to meet you guys twice. This means that we are fated. Dandan began to lie through her teeth, spouting nonsense. However, the other party couldn't refute this reason. Was it wrong to kill the evil god tribe? Was it wrong to run when they couldn't win? They just happened to run into Blue Cloud and the rest. They could only blame themselves for being unlucky. Blue Cloud, Yen Shi, and the rest were tongue-tied, unable to say a word. They were so angry that they were about to vomit blood. Their eyes were wide open, and they couldn't wait to tear Lu Ming and Dandan into pieces. However, with the other people from the Heaven Realm around, they couldn't do anything. Let's go. In the end, Blue Cloud and the rest were helpless. They could only bring their men and leave this place. Looks like this trick won't work. These guys have learned their lesson. Dandan muttered. After that, the two of them moved forward and began to search the area. Look, there's something strange over there. Suddenly, Lu Ming looked ahead. Over there, one could vaguely see an expanse of red light jumping about. It was abnormally bright, dyeing half the sky red like blood. Whoosh! Whoosh! Obviously, the others also noticed the abnormality and flew in that direction. Red light is everywhere. There are treasures here. Let's go. Dandan's eyes burned with passion, and the two of them flew towards that area. Streaks of rainbow light also flew over from other directions. This direction was where the experts of the Heaven Realm were searching. Hence, there were no experts from the evil god race rushing over. Up ahead, there was a towering mountain. On one side of the mountain, there was a cliff that was thousands of meters high. The red light was coming from the bottom of the cliff. Everyone flew to the bottom of the cliff and found that there was a pool there. The pool was not filled with water, but with a bright red liquid that looked like blood. In the pool, there was a figure sitting cross-legged. Her entire body was covered by the bright red liquid, but one could still vaguely see her appearance. It was a peerless beauty with an explosive figure. Mulans. Lu Ming was dumbfounded. He never thought that he would meet Mulans here. Mulans was cultivating or receiving some kind of inheritance. A small blood-red pagoda floated above her head, emitting a vast pressure. It was high and mighty, like the might of the heavens. Needless to say, this small pagoda was definitely a supreme treasure. Treasure, this is definitely a treasure. Many people's eyes burned with passion, flickering with greed. Dandan was the same. He almost drooled as he stared at the small pagoda. This is the treasure of a powerful existence. Dandan whispered, his eyes shining. She's my friend. Lu Ming hurriedly transmitted his voice to Dandan, causing Dandan's face to fall. However, Blue Cloud, Yen Shi, and the others could no longer hold back. This treasure is mine. Mine. One by one, figures rushed out and rushed towards Mulans, grabbing the small blood-red pagoda above her head. Damn it! Lu Ming shouted angrily. He wanted to help, but it was too late. Clang! Suddenly, a sword chime was heard. On the cliff behind the blood pool, there was a cave. The sword humming sound came from that cave. Then, a ray of sword light flew out from the cave at an astonishing speed. It was like a ray of light that was swimming around. Puff! Puff! A few of the weaker cultivators were directly cut in half by the sword light and died on the spot. The others were also blocked by the sword light. Whoosh! In the next moment, a figure appeared beside Mulans, with a sparkling long sword floating above his head. Kenfi Ryu. Lu Ming was dumbfounded once again. The person who appeared beside Mulans was a handsome young man with sword-like eyebrows. It was Kenfi Ryu, whom Lu Ming had not seen for many years. Back then, when Lu Ming was wandering in Nine Dragon City, Kenfei Ryu was severely injured by the geniuses of the Wang clan and the other clans, crippling his cultivation. Later, when he entered the blood pool, Kenfei Ryu was taken away by a mysterious person who seemed to be the remnant soul of a powerful expert. It had been many years since they parted. Lu Ming did not expect Kenfei Ryu to still be alive. Not only could he cultivate, but his cultivation had also reached an astonishing level. The few people he had killed earlier were all martial emperors. Treasure, another treasure. Dandan's eyes lit up as he looked at the long sword above Kenfei Ryu's head. Buzz! The long sword vibrated slightly and emitted a fluorescent light. A terrifying sword chi whizzed through the clouds. It was definitely a peerless sword. Most of the credit for Kenfei Ryu being able to block the attacks of so many experts was due to this sword. The others also stared at the long sword above Kenfei Ryu's head with fervent eyes. Brat, who are you? How dare you kill our people? People of the Heaven Realm cannot kill each other on the battlefield. You have committed a grave crime. Do you know that? Kneel down and surrender yourself. Blue Cloud shouted. I am not from the Two-World City. Kenfei Ryu said coldly. He continued, moreover, you were the ones who attacked me without any explanation. Didn't you see that my friend was accepting the inheritance? You killed someone and still want to quibble? Take him down. Blue Cloud shouted. His eyes were abnormally fiery as he looked at the long sword above Kenfei Ryu's head and the small pagoda above Mulin's head. This was definitely a rare treasure left behind by an ancient expert. Wait a minute. At this moment, Lu Ming shouted. Everyone stopped, and Lu Ming appeared in a flash. It's you. What do you want? When Blue Cloud saw Lu Ming, a hint of killing intent flashed across his eyes. Previously, Lu Ming and Dandan had brought the evil god tribe to their place and caused them to suffer heavy losses. He had always been thinking about it. Dandan quickly set up the formation. Lu Ming transmitted his voice to Dandan first. Dandan nodded and started to sneak around. With every step he took, countless runes entered the ground. Chapter 2209. Lu Ming's words caused many people's eyes to flicker. However, some people, such as Blue Cloud, Yan Shi, and the others, were still burning with passion. What's too much? These treasures are obviously treasures left behind by peerless experts in ancient times. These two people are so young, how can they unleash the power of these treasures? I want to keep these treasures and hand them over to the experts of the Two-World City. Only in the hands of such experts can these treasures shine and be used to deal with the evil god tribe. Blue Cloud sneered and quibbled. What a joke. Since when did the experts of the Heaven Realm have to snatch the opportunities of the younger generation and use their treasures to deal with the evil god tribe? If that's the case, we will never be a match for the evil god tribe. Lu Ming replied with a sneer, full of mockery. This Blue Cloud was obviously greedy and wanted to snatch the treasures. However, he found such a dignified reason. What a joke. Hearing Lu Ming's words, some people looked ashamed and took a few steps back. They seemed to be hesitating whether they should attack or not. Mulin's and Kenfei Ryu were obviously from the human race. Attacking the human race and snatching their treasures in the ancient battlefield was obviously against the rules of the Two-World City. However, there were still some people that were clearly unreconciled. The greed in their eyes grew even stronger. Kid, no matter how glib your tongue is, it's useless. It's a waste to give such treasures to them. Today, I must take these treasures and give them to the experts of the Two-World City to use. Blue Cloud continued, not backing down at all. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with cold killing intent. This Blue Cloud was really despicable and shameless. Blue Cloud, since you said so, then hand over all the treasures and resources on you. It's a waste to give them to trash like you. It's better to give them to the experts. Lu Ming sneered. What did you say? Blue Cloud's eyes flashed with killing intent. Lu Ming actually called him trash. I said you're a piece of trash, didn't you hear me? Hand over all your treasures and resources to me. It's a waste to give them to you anyway. Lu Ming added. Ha ha ha, what a joke. Does that mean you're very strong? Blue Cloud laughed loudly. He was a top genius of the Heaven Realm. Before he became an emperor, he was an Elysian son. Lu Ming actually called him trash. Brat, you're the one who provoked me first. If I don't break your limbs today, my name isn't Blue Cloud. Blue Cloud bellowed. If it's not called Blue Cloud, then it's called Green Cloud. The top of its head is green. Lu Ming was talking nonsense with him mainly to stall for time so that Dandan could set up the formation. At this moment, Dandan was silently shuttling through the crowd. One rune after another entered the ground. Brat, I'll cripple you. Blue Cloud was furious and pounced towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming displayed his 6-feathered divine wings. A pair of transparent wings appeared and in a flash, he dodged Blue Cloud's attack. Swoosh! Swoosh! Blue Cloud launched a storm-like attack. However, Lu Ming displayed his 6-feathered divine wings and his speed was too fast. He dodged all of Blue Cloud's attacks. Lu Ming didn't fight back. Naturally, he was stalling for time so that Dandan could set up the formation. In the blink of an eye, Blue Cloud launched hundreds of attacks, but he didn't touch Lu Ming at all. Many people were shocked. They didn't expect Lu Ming to be so powerful. Under Blue Cloud's storm-like attacks, he was completely fine. Didn't you say you're very strong? If you have the ability, fight me head-on. Blue Cloud roared. Lu Ming couldn't be bothered with him and continued to dodge with his movement technique. After dozens of moves, Blue Cloud still didn't touch Lu Ming at all. Blue Cloud, let me help you. At this moment, Yan Shi flashed out and attacked Lu Ming. Blue Cloud and Yan Shi were both 3-star illusionary emperors. Moreover, both of them were top geniuses of the Heaven Realm. They had mastered one of the strongest laws and had cultivated it to the 2nd realm. In addition, they had also mastered other laws. Their strength was extremely shocking. The two of them worked together and attacked Lu Ming from 2 directions. It wouldn't be so easy for Lu Ming to dodge completely. Boom! Blue Cloud was behind Lu Ming and blasted out a palm. This palm was as fast as lightning and as swift as thunder. Its power was astonishing. At the same time, Yan Shi also launched an attack. He slashed out layers of saber light, enveloping Lu Ming in 3 directions. In this way, Lu Ming had no way to dodge. Lu Ming, that's enough. At this moment, a voice entered Lu Ming's ears. It was Dandan's voice. A cold light flashed in Lu Ming's eyes. Boom! At this moment, the aura on his body erupted. 7 types of laws shone with different lights and flickered on Lu Ming's body. A giant hammer appeared in Lu Ming's hand. This was his original divine ability, the Hammer of Chaos. Boom! 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 Lu Ming blasted out 4 times in a row, blasting in all directions. Immediately, Yan Shi's saber light that was slashing at Lu Ming shattered. His body shook violently and he retreated continuously. Boom! One of the hammers smashed into Lan Yun's palm, causing a huge boom to erupt. Blue Cloud's body also shook and he retreated continuously. It's you! The peerless trash of the primordial realm, you're Lu Ming! Blue Cloud roared. Lu Ming attacked with all his might, and 7 types of laws erupted. Blue Cloud immediately recognized Lu Ming. What? The peerless trash of the primordial realm? It's him! Many people at the scene reacted. Back then, when the prodigies who went to the primordial realm returned, they said that there was a peerless trash in the primordial realm. He had not become an emperor yet, but he had already mastered 2 types of supreme laws and many types of monarch laws. This matter had spread widely in the circle of prodigies in the Heaven Realm, and many people had heard of it. The one with the biggest reaction was Kenfei Ryu. His body shook, and he looked at Lu Ming with bright eyes. What shocked him was the name Lu Ming. Ha ha ha, it's me. Lu Ming laughed and revealed his true appearance. Seeing Lu Ming's true appearance, Kenfei Ryu's eyes suddenly lit up. He was a little shocked, a little surprised, and a little incredulous. He came to the heaven realm and became the disciple of a terrifying expert. His cultivation had improved by leaps and bounds over the years, and his standards were naturally much higher. He was far from what he was in the past. However, he did not expect that a friend he made in the eastern wilderness of the divine wilderness continent would come here. At the same time, his combat strength was also astonishing. This was really beyond his expectations. "Brother Lu, let me help you," Kenfei Ryu shouted, and the long sword above his head buzzed continuously. "No need, you protect senior sister Mulan's," Lu Ming said. "Lu Ming, you killed my Lan family's people. Today, you will pay the price. Attack!" "There's no need to talk about rules with such a person." Blue Cloud roared and called for the other members of the Lan family to attack. Immediately, the true emperors of the Lan family moved. They erupted with a terrifying aura and suppressed Lu Ming. "Shameless guy, watch me." At this moment, Dandan shouted and waved his hands. Dense runes appeared on the ground. Chapter 22:10. Dandan made her move. She controlled the formation and condensed numerous chains, which shot toward the experts of the Lan and Yen families to bind them. The Void Emperors couldn't resist at all. They couldn't move no matter how hard they struggled. Blue Cloud and Yen Shi were also tied up. "It's you! Damn it!" Blue Cloud roared, his eyes turning red when he recognized Dandan. They struggled madly, but it was useless. They were bound tightly by the chains. Boom! Boom! The true emperor from the Lan clan tried to break free, but a low-level true emperor couldn't do much. The chains tightened around him. "You want to win by numbers, huh? Let's see how you're going to win by numbers." Lu Ming stepped into the air and walked toward Lan Yun and the rest. "Lu Ming, you dare touch me?" Blue Cloud roared. "You're still so arrogant, what a fool." Lu Ming arrived above Blue Cloud's head and stomped on Blue Cloud's face. Bang! Blue Cloud's face was solidly stomped by Lu Ming, leaving a footprint on it. "Ah!" Blue Cloud roared in anger. Last time, Dandan stomped on his face, causing his teeth to fly out. Now that he had recovered, Lu Ming stomped on his face again. He had always been a proud son of the heavens since he was young. When had he ever suffered such humiliation? But in just a few days, his face had been stomped on repeatedly. He wanted to vomit blood. "What are you shouting for? It's so King unpleasant." Lu Ming disdainfully stomped on Blue Cloud's face again. This stomp caused Blue Cloud's face to swell and his teeth to fly out. Blue Cloud immediately spat out a mouthful of blood. Some of it came from his teeth falling out, while the other part came from anger. He was so angry that he vomited blood. "Everyone, this person is lawless and has no regard for the law. Let's attack together and take him down." Blue Cloud roared, summoning the other people from the heaven realm. However, the others looked at each other, and no one made a move. Lu Ming didn't kill anyone, and he didn't use too much force, so it wasn't considered a violation of the rules. Moreover, many of them were Blue Cloud's competitors. When they saw Blue Cloud being tortured, they couldn't be happier. Why would they stand up for him? At this moment, even Yen Shi shut her mouth and behaved herself. She was afraid that Lu Ming would target her. "You still dare to shout? Come again." Lu Ming stepped on Blue Cloud's face again. Roar! Blue Cloud howled. Unfortunately, his entire body was chained up and he could only stand there, unable to move at all. He could only passively be stepped on. "Kill this brat, hurry up and kill him!" Blue Cloud roared. Boom! A 6-star true emperor from the Lan clan wasn't chained up. He was still resisting the chains. At this moment, the world energy in his body burned fiercely. The power of various laws rampaged and bombarded the chains. A 6-star true emperor was too strong. In order to break through to the true emperor realm, one had to have enough world energy and a stable minor world, but there were also requirements regarding laws. In order to break through, one needed to have 3 laws at the second level. One could only imagine how terrifying a 6-star true emperor's laws would be. For a moment, Dandan's formation couldn't bind the opponent. It wasn't that Dandan's formation wasn't strong enough. If Dandan had an hour to set it up, not to mention a 6-star true emperor, even a peak true emperor would be trapped. However, he didn't have enough time. Blue Cloud's eyes lit up. "Brat, you're finished. I'm going to cripple you and break all your limbs." Blue Cloud roared, hating Lu Ming to the bone. "You talk too much." Lu Ming continued to stomp on Blue Cloud's face. Blue Cloud's face was about to explode. He didn't even recognize him anymore. Next, the fallen star bow appeared in Lu Ming's hand. He suddenly pulled on the fallen star bow, and a 7-colored arrow appeared. Buzz! Lu Ming loosened his grip and the bowstring vibrated, causing eardrums to ring. The 7-colored arrow suddenly flew toward the 6-star true emperor from the Lan clan. At such a close distance, the fallen star bow's power was at its peak. However, the 6-star true emperor was too strong. He roared and released sound waves from his mouth. These sound waves contained the power of various laws and rushed toward the 7-colored arrow. The arrow was blocked. It vibrated continuously in mid-air, creating sound waves. But in the end, the arrow still shattered. "Lock for me!" Dandan shouted and waved his hands. Runes filled the air and more chains appeared, wrapping around the 6-star true emperor from the Lan clan. In order to stop Lu Ming's arrow, the 6-star true emperor diverted some of his power and was almost bound by Dandan's chains. Once again, Lu Ming pulled the bowstring. The surging saint power continuously surged into the bow. Whoosh! Another arrow aimed for the forehead of the 6-star true emperor from the Lan clan. "Lu Ming, I'll help you." On the other side, Kenfei Ryu shouted. He waved his hand and the sword above his head vibrated. It turned into a sword ray and slashed at the 6-star true emperor with frightening power. The 6-star true emperor of the Lan family roared and tried his best to resist. He waved his arms continuously, vibrating a terrifying force to resist the chains around him, as well as Lu Ming's arrows and flying sword gleams. Bang! Bang! An explosion sounded out as the arrow was destroyed. Jian Filiu's sword was also sent flying back to Jian Filiu's head. However, the 6-star true emperor from the Lan clan was distracted by Lu Ming and Jian Filiu's attacks. Finally, Dandan seized the opportunity and chained the 6-star true emperor from the Lan clan with countless chains. 1 chain, 2 chains, several chains coiled around the 6-star true emperor from the Lan clan, slowing him down. Blue Cloud's heart sank. However, at this moment, streaks of purple and red light shot towards them from afar. It was the experts of the Evil God tribe. Clearly, the experts of the Evil God tribe were also attracted by the red light emitted from Mulan's body. Lu Ming's expression changed. Kenfei Ryu's expression changed as well. In the blink of an eye, the people from the Evil God tribe arrived. They immediately saw Mulan, who was sitting cross-legged in the pool, and their eyes burned with a fiery light. "Take the treasure. We can't let the people of the heaven world get it," one of the Evil God tribe members said. Immediately, the Evil God tribe members rushed toward Mulan's. "Damn it!" Lu Ming roared. He pulled the fallen star bow and shot several arrows. Bang! Bang! Several Evil God tribe members were killed by Lu Ming in the air. At the same time, Kenfei Ryu controlled the sword above his head to slash at the Evil God tribe members. However, there was a terrifying expert among the Evil God tribe. He punched and sent Kenfei Ryu's sword flying. Kenfei Ryu's face turned pale and he almost vomited blood. Chapter 22:11. Dandan also made a move, but he could not block it at all. Courting death. A member of the evil god race targeted Lu Ming and attacked Lu Ming. Ha ha ha. Serves you right. Blue Cloud laughed in his heart. Taking this opportunity, he began to struggle, wanting to break free from the shackles of the chains. Boom! The 6-star true emperor of the Lan family finally broke free and came to Blue Cloud's side to protect him. Attack together and kill the evil god race. The treasure must not be obtained by the evil god race. Dandan shouted, instigating the others to attack. Many people looked at each other and made a move. They had no choice but to face the evil god race. They were their common enemy. No matter who got the treasure, they could not let it fall into the hands of the evil god race. However, the people of the heaven world were too late. There were already experts of the evil god race approaching Mulan's. Kenfei Ryu was alone beside Mulan's. He could not stop the other party at all. It seems that I can only use the Celestial Emperor's physical body. Lu Ming thought. Just as he was about to use the Celestial Emperor's physical body, a layer of light suddenly spread out from the cave behind Mulan's and Kenfei Ryu, blocking in front of Mulan's and Kenfei Ryu. Boom! The experts of the evil god race rushed over and bombarded the light with terrifying attacks. However, the light did not move at all. Not even a ripple was produced. Master! Kenfei Ryu was overjoyed. Then, a figure walked out of the cave. It was an old man with a head of white hair. He wore a gray robe and had a cold expression. Others could not sense a trace of aura from him, nor did they know his cultivation level. He was like an ordinary person. However, when his gaze swept over, everyone's hair stood on end. There was a great sense of horror. Not good, let's go. A high-level true emperor of the evil god race revealed a look of horror. He roared and frantically retreated. Evil god race, kill! The gray-robed old man said coldly. The moment he spoke, many long swords automatically appeared in the air, shooting out rapidly. All the members of the evil god tribe were pierced through their foreheads. It didn't matter whether they were true emperors or void emperors, unable to withstand a single blow. In an instant, all the members of the evil god tribe, over 100 of them, died. Hiss, on the heaven realm side, everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. This old man was definitely a terrifying expert, at the very least a grand emperor. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to kill a high-level true emperor so easily. However, how did a great emperor realm expert come here? Could it be that the other party had been living here all along? However, one thing was certain, the other party was from the heaven realm. They were friends and not enemies. So it's this guy. He's actually still alive. Dandan came to Lu Ming's side and whispered. You know him? Lu Ming transmitted his voice to Bubble. Yes, we met once in the past. However, he's just a junior. When you see me, you have to respectfully call me senior. Dandan transmitted his voice to Lu Ming and began to boast again. However, Lu Ming was still very shocked. It was obvious that this was an expert from the same era as Dandan. He was an expert from the ancient era and had lived until now. Obviously, after the battle back then, he didn't die. Master! Kenfei Ryu bowed respectfully to the old man. The gray-robed old man nodded. Then, he swept his gaze across the people from the heaven realm and said in a cold voice, Leave this place. This is my place of cultivation. Yes, senior. Some people cupped their fists and didn't dare to say anything. They bowed to the old man and turned to leave. Master, the two of them are my friends. Kenfei Ryu pointed to Lu Ming and Dandan. They can stay. The gray-robed old man glanced at Dandan and Lu Ming, especially Dandan. Senior, can you let me take them away? Blue Cloud asked. He had broken free from the chains with the help of his subordinates. He knew that he couldn't get the treasure, but he didn't want to let go of Lu Ming and Dandan. He wanted to take Lu Ming and Dandan away. Scram! The gray-robed old man only replied with one word. Senior, this junior is the successor of the Lawn clan. Please give me some face. Blue Cloud cupped his fists. Scram! This time, the old man's voice was even colder. A powerful force erupted along with the word scram and rushed toward Blue Cloud's group. The faces of Lan Yun and the rest changed drastically. Their bodies flew out and fell to the ground, each of them vomiting blood. Even a 6-star true emperor couldn't resist at all. Young master, go, go! The 6-star true emperor, Lan Yun, and the group left in a sorry state, disappearing in the blink of an eye. Ha ha ha, evil swordsman, long time no see. I didn't expect you to still be alive. After the people from the heaven realm left, Dandan laughed and walked over to greet the grey-robed elder. Jian Filiu was dumbfounded as he watched. The grey-robed old man coldly glanced at Dandan. So it's you, the coward. Good people don't live long while scourges live for 1,000 years. Hey, you, how can you say that? Dandan glared at the grey-robed old man. The grey-robed old man ignored Dandan and flashed into the cave. Ha ha ha. Lu Ming laughed. Brat, what are you laughing about? Dandan glared at Lu Ming. He was just bragging that the grey-robed old man was his junior. Now, he was being treated like this by the old man. Sigh, people's hearts are not what they used to be. Look at how weak I am now, and this attitude is so pitiful. Dandan sighed. Lu Ming. Long time no see. Kenfei Ryu came over and greeted Lu Ming. Indeed, it's been more than 10 years, almost 20 years. Lu Ming lamented that time had passed too quickly. It had been so long since they last met. Fortunately, Kenfei Ryu was fine and his cultivation had skyrocketed. It was truly hard to predict. Senior, you are, Jian Filiu looked at Dandan with a respectful look on his face. Since Dandan knew his master, he naturally treated Dandan as a senior expert. I'm the invincible. Dandan put his hands behind his back and began to brag. Lu Ming immediately interrupted him. He's just a scammer who brags all day. Ignore him. What? Lu Ming, what did you say? Dandan was unhappy. He gritted his teeth and looked at Lu Ming. By the way, brother Jian, what happened to you back then? Also, why is senior sister Mulan's here? What's her situation now? Lu Ming asked several questions in a row. He was indeed full of questions. Mulan's is your senior sister? Kenfei Ryu was surprised. That's right. She is my senior sister. Previously, there was an anomaly in the divine wilderness and a passageway appeared. 6 years ago, senior sister Mulan stepped into that passageway and never returned. Not long ago, I also stepped into that passageway and came here. Chapter 22:12. Lu Ming gave a brief account of how he came to this place. Jian Filiu also gave a brief account of his experience. Back then, Kenfei Ryu's cultivation was crippled and he was on the verge of death. After entering the blood pool, he was taken away by a mysterious person. That mysterious person was his master, the grey-robed elder from before, the evil sword master that Dandan had mentioned. According to Kenfei Ryu, at that time, the passageway to Nine Dragon City in the Divine Wilderness had already cracked open. Evil Sword Master brought Kenfei Ryu from the blood pool to cleanse his meridians and cleanse his marrows. Then, he cultivated Evil Sword Master's unique way of the sword. Evil Sword Master's unique way of the sword was very special. Back then, when Kenfei Ryu's cultivation was crippled, he happened to be compatible with Evil Sword Master's unique way of the sword. All these years, he had been cultivating with Evil Sword Master. His cultivation had improved rapidly and he was now a 2-star empty emperor. Lu Ming nodded. Evil Sword Master was definitely a very powerful existence. In the ancient past, he knew Dandan. Furthermore, he was able to participate in the great battle back then and survive in the end. Under the tutelage of such an expert and in such a good cultivation environment like the Heaven Realm, it was normal for Jian Filiu to improve rapidly. Senior sister Mulan, what's wrong with her? Lu Ming looked at Mulan's again. 6 years ago, Master saved Mulan's at the passageway. Moreover, Miss Mulan's coincidentally resonated with the inheritance of a friend of Master's and inherited that senior's inheritance. In the blink of an eye, 5 years have passed. Kenfei Ryu said. 5 years? You're saying that Senior Mulan's has been like this for 5 years? Lu Ming asked. That's right. According to Master's prediction, Miss Mulan's should be waking up soon. Kenfei Ryu said. Lu Ming nodded. He was going to stay here and wait for Mulan's to wake up. After that, Lu Ming and Dandan stayed here. Time passed day by day. The Taiching Heavenly Domain and Hunyuan Heavenly Domain were neighbors, and the passage between the two heavenly domains had long been turned into a battlefield. The two heavenly domains had fought for many years, and countless bones had been buried. On one side of the battlefield was the Taiching Domain. Two World City was there, blocking the entrance to the Taiching Domain. On the other side of the battlefield was the territory occupied by the Evil God tribe. There were many strange and sinister-looking buildings here, and countless experts of the Evil God tribe were gathered here. In one of the buildings, a group of people from the Evil God race were having a discussion. Among these members of the Evil God tribe, most of them were covered in purple scales. Only a few of them were covered in black scales. All of them had extremely terrifying auras. They were all terrifying experts. The most shocking thing was that there was a member of the Evil God race at the very top. This member of the Evil God race had a body that was no different from an ordinary person. He was slightly taller than a human, about 2 meters tall. There were no scales on his body, but there was a third eye at the center of his brows. His head was full of purple hair, and he was extremely eye-catching. This was the royal member of the Evil God race. The ancestor has sent another message. That passage isn't completely sealed, and there's still hope of breaking it open. So, this time, no matter what, we must break open that passage. Once we have that passage, our army can directly reach the Yuan realm, and then through the Yuan realm, enter the Taiching domain, and destroy the two heavenly domains in one fell swoop. All of you, send people to kill their way into that battlefield. The royal member of the Evil God race gave the order. Yes, at all costs. The numerous members of the Evil God race received the order. Soon, figure after figure flew into the battlefield, flying towards the ancient battlefield where Lu Ming and the others were. Among these people, there was no lack of Emperor realm figures. Heavenly emperors didn't dare to enter, because once they did, they would attract the attention of all the experts' imprints, and they would be hunted down by all the experts' imprints. They wouldn't rest until they were dead. Unless one's cultivation reached a certain level and wasn't weaker than those peerless experts of the past, they wouldn't need to fear those imprints, such as the few ancestors of the Evil God race. Time passed very quickly. In the blink of an eye, half a month had passed. During this period, Lu Ming cultivated while waiting for Mulan's to wake up. On this day, Lu Ming was cultivating. Suddenly, there was a flash of light in the cave, and a figure appeared. It was Evil Swordsman. In this half a month, Evil Swordsman hadn't appeared. According to Kenfei Ryu, his master had been severely injured in the ancient war, and it was lucky that he hadn't died. His cultivation and combat strength were no longer the same as before, and he had been in seclusion to heal his injuries. Why had he suddenly appeared now? Evil Swordsman looked up at the sky, seeming to have a lot on his mind. After a long while, he sighed. It seems that the passage hasn't completely collapsed, and it hasn't been completely sealed. It can still be opened. Passage? When Lu Ming heard that, he couldn't help but worry. He asked, Senior, the passage you're talking about, is it the one that leads to the Yuan realm? That's right, little guy. You must have come here from the Yuan realm through that passage. Evil Swordsman said. That's right, Senior. Could it be that the Evil God tribe wants to enter the Yuan realm through that passage? Immediately, Lu Ming was worried, and his heart was in his throat. If the Evil God tribe entered the Yuan realm through that passage, then the Divine Wilderness continent would be finished. It's not that easy. Look! Evil swordsman waved his hand, and an image immediately appeared in mid-air. Figures shuttled through the air, and they were all from the evil god tribe. Suddenly, light filled the air, and a figure appeared. It was the mark of a peerless expert. Kill! When the mark of a peerless expert appeared, his killing intent surged. He held a long spear in his hand, and it pierced through the void, instantly killing 7 or 8 evil god tribe members. Then, the long spear swept through again, and a terrifying figure exploded in the air. That's a great emperor-level evil god tribe member. Lu Ming was shocked. The last evil god tribe member that was blown up was definitely a great emperor-level existence, but he still couldn't block the attack of the expert's mark. Spread out. The members of the evil god race howled as they fled in all directions. That supreme expert's imprint continued to pierce out with its spear, killing a few more evil god race experts. However, the other members of the evil god race all fled. This is just a corner. This time, many experts from the evil god tribe have entered, and there is no lack of great emperor-level figures. Their goal is that passage. Look again. Then, evil swordsman waved his hand again, and the image changed again. On the image, a void appeared. That void was extremely unstable, and cracks in space would appear from time to time. They would disappear in a flash, and it was very sinister and terrifying. Not far from that void, there were many figures standing in the air, and all of them were experts from the evil god tribe. Some of the evil god tribe members were bombarding that unstable void, and some of them were setting up a large array in the surroundings. Could this be the entrance of the passage from before? Lu Ming guessed. That's right. This is the entrance of the passage. A shocking battle happened there previously, and the passage exploded and collapsed. However, it wasn't completely sealed, and there is still hope of opening it. Evil swordsman said. Senior, what exactly is going on? Why is there a passage here? Chapter 22:13. Lu Ming was full of doubts. Why was there a passageway that led to the divine region? Why was the divine region guarded by the 9-dragon cauldron and the 9-dragon veins? Why did the 9-dragon cauldron fly away previously? Lu Ming asked all these questions. Evil Sword Master pondered for a moment before saying, that passageway was naturally formed when the 2 worlds of the Tian Yuan realm first opened. Naturally formed? Lu Ming muttered. That's right. This kind of naturally formed passageway is completely different from man-made ones. It's very difficult to seal a naturally formed passageway. Even if it's sealed, it will slowly open on its own with the passage of time. It's like forcibly tearing a crack or opening a passageway in space. The space will quickly heal and repair itself. Naturally formed passageways are the opposite. If you want to seal it, it will naturally open and return to its original state. Evil Sword Master explained. Lu Ming understood now. Naturally formed passageways were naturally formed and would always be fixed, just like any piece of space. You had the ability to tear any piece of space, but that piece of space would quickly recover. Naturally formed passageways were the same. If you sealed them, they would naturally open up. That passageway leads to the Yuan realm. Therefore, in ancient times, it became an important place for the evil god tribe to attack. That's why there was a great war here, and many peerless experts died in battle. Later on, one of the top 10 battle beasts, the 9-dragon, entered the Yuan realm and sealed the other end of the passageway. In the heaven domain, there were also experts who sealed the passageway here. However, that passageway was naturally formed. No matter how it was sealed, it would slowly recover. Even if the person who sealed it was a rare peerless expert, it couldn't be sealed forever. After so many years, the seal finally couldn't completely seal the passageway. The passageway is slowly opening up. Evil Sword Master's words enlightened Lu Ming. Many things that he couldn't figure out in the past suddenly made sense. He finally understood what the 9-dragon cauldron and the 9-dragon veins were for. They were used by the 9-dragon to seal the passageway. He used to think that the divine nine-dragon cauldron just happened to have the same name as the 9 dragons. Now, it seemed that it was a treasure of the 9 dragons. More than 10 years ago, the passageway was slowly restored and could no longer be sealed. Therefore, the divine wilderness continent and the heavenly realm were connected, causing the origin chi to become denser. As for the reason why the divine 9 dragon cauldrons flew to the heavenly realm separately, it was probably because they wanted to stall for time. When the divine 9 dragon cauldrons arrived at the heavenly realm, they wanted to stop their auras from spreading and let the evil god race detect them. As expected, Evil Sword Artist continued, some time ago, the evil god tribe finally discovered the abnormality of this passage. The evil god tribe sent out a few terrifying experts, wanting to take over the passage completely. They fought a huge battle with the experts guarding the passage. In the end, the experts guarding the passage and the treasures left behind by the 9 dragons wanted to destroy the passage. Now, it seems like it wasn't completely destroyed. Senior, can that tunnel be completely destroyed? Lu Ming asked in surprise. No, it can only be destroyed temporarily. After a period of time, it will automatically recover. Otherwise, there would be no need to go through so much trouble to seal it back then. Evil Sword Artist shook his head and sighed. Then, what should we do now? Lu Ming was really anxious. This involved the safety of his parents, relatives, and friends. It was difficult for him to remain calm. This passage must not be taken over by the evil god tribe. Otherwise, everyone's efforts over the years will be in vain. Evil Sword Artist said. His voice was cold and filled with cold-killing intent. Senior, we can pass the news to the Two-World City. The Two-World City will not sit by and do nothing. Lu Ming suggested. This not only concerned the primordial realm, but also the heavenly realm. Once the evil god tribe entered the primordial realm and entered the grand pure sky domain through the passageway, the heavenly realm would be completely finished. Those guys who came in previously all came from the Two-World City. Pass the news to them and let them pass the news to the people in the Two-World City. Evil Sword Artist nodded. Buzz! At this moment, a buzzing sound was heard. Mullins, who had been silent all this while, finally moved. The small pagoda above her head emitted a bright light. The blood in the blood pool wriggled and seeped into Mullins's body. Soon, the blood in the blood pool disappeared without a trace. A powerful aura emanated from Mullins's body. Quasi-Emperor. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. Mullins's cultivation was at the Quasi-Emperor realm. The inheritance that she had received was definitely left behind by an extremely powerful existence. It was not as simple as a simple inheritance. Otherwise, Mullins would not have reached the Quasi-Emperor realm in just 5 to 6 years. This little girl is actually so compatible with that guy's inheritance. It's rare. Evil Sword Artist muttered. Dandan was envious. Buzz! The small blood-colored pagoda vibrated slightly and then shrank rapidly. It flew into Mullins's forehead and disappeared. Mullins slowly opened her eyes. A blood-red light flashed in her eyes and then disappeared. Her gaze swept across Lu Ming and the others. When her gaze fell on Lu Ming, her delicate body could not help but tremble. She was in disbelief. Am I hallucinating again? Mullins muttered. Her beautiful big eyes blinked hard a few times to confirm. Lu Ming smiled and said, Senior Sister Mullins, long time no see. Why, don't you recognize me? Lu Ming. Mullins whispered. She was pleasantly surprised and flew out of the small pool. Still in disbelief, she said, Junior brother Lu Ming, why are you here? Of course, I was worried about you and missed you. So I followed that passage to find you. The one who spoke was not Lu Ming but Dandan. Lu Ming touched his nose and was speechless. Mullins blushed. You two little guys, stop flirting. It's time to get down to business. Evil Swordsman said. Mullins blushed even more. However, her cultivation had increased tremendously and she had reached the Emperor-to-be realm. Furthermore, she had obtained the inheritance of a peerless expert. Her confidence had increased greatly and her original personality was completely revealed. She came to Lu Ming's side and stared at Lu Ming without blinking. She did not seem to want to look away. Hey, you're so mushy!" Dandan cried out. "Junior brother, what happened?" Mullins ignored Dandan and asked Lu Ming. Lu Ming explained the passage briefly. After hearing it, Mullins's face turned pale. She understood the seriousness of the matter. Furthermore, her family was in the divine region. "I'm going to the passage immediately. When the time comes, you guys will be in danger if you stay here. You guys should enter my small world first," Evil Swordsman said. "Senior, I'll stay outside. I might be able to help," Lu Ming said. No matter what, he still had the physical body of the Heavenly Emperor. It might be useful at a critical moment. "I'll stay outside too." Chapter 22:14. Alright, the two of you, enter the small world. Evil Sword Master waved his hand and sent Kenfei Ryu and Mullins into the small world. Then, a wave of energy swept up Lu Ming and Dandan. In a flash, they appeared outside the castle. Then, Evil Sword Master brought Lu Ming and the rest to find Lu Hao and the rest. Lu Ming realized that when Evil Sword Master walked in this area, the seals of the top experts did not attack him. Lu Ming guessed that perhaps Evil Sword Master's cultivation level was high enough, or perhaps he had some secret technique that allowed him to avoid the attacks of the seals. When they saw Evil Sword Master, Lu Hao and the rest were shocked and bowed respectfully. Lu Ming immediately told them about the passageway. What? Lu Hao and the rest were shocked when they heard it. They knew that this was a huge matter that concerned the fate of the Heaven region. "Let's leave this place immediately and inform the seniors in Two World City." Lu Hao and the rest agreed. They did not dare to delay and rushed out of the battlefield. Evil Sword Master brought Lu Ming and Dandan towards the passageway. Not long after, they approached the passageway and hid in the sky, watching from afar. There were many members of the evil god race circling around the void, moving around continuously. Beams of light shot into the void one after another. There were also members of the evil god tribe who formed huge hands and wanted to tear the void apart to reopen the passageway. The evil god tribe is setting up an array. They want to use the power of the array to reopen the passageway. Evil Sword Master transmitted his voice to Lu Ming and Dandan. "Senior, what should we do?" Lu Ming also transmitted his voice. "When the experts from Two World City arrive, we'll kill them. There's no other way now. However, the Heavenly Emperors will not dare to come. At most, they will be peak Great Emperors. Although I have not recovered from my injuries, I'm still confident in dealing with Great Emperors," Evil Sword Master said as a cold light flashed in his eyes. Hearing this, Lu Ming's heart calmed down. Next, they waited quietly. A day later. "He's here," Evil Sword Guest suddenly said. In the distance, a few figures flashed over. They were very secretive. If not for Evil Sword Guest's warning, Lu Ming and the rest would not have noticed them. Evil Sword Master's lips moved slightly as if he was sending a telepathic message. In the next moment, those figures headed towards Lu Ming and the rest. There were a total of 3 people, 2 old men and 1 middle-aged man. Their bodies were bathed in blood, and it was clear that they had gone through a great battle. Although the 3 of them had completely restrained their auras, Lu Ming could still feel that these 3 people were absolutely terrifying experts. "Senior." When the 3 of them arrived, they cupped their fists at Evil Sword Master. "Why is it only the 3 of you? Why didn't the others come for such a big event?" Evil Sword Master frowned. "Sigh, the others can't come." An elder sighed. His hair was disheveled, and his entire body was covered in blood. It was clear that he had experienced a bitter battle. "What happened?" Evil Sword Master asked. Lu Ming and Dandan's hearts were in their mouths. They had a bad premonition. A day ago, the evil god tribe suddenly sent out a large army to attack Two World City. They surrounded the outside of Two World City. Now, there's still a bitter battle in Two World City. Most of the experts are pinned down. Originally, there were more than 10 of us. We broke out of the encirclement and wanted to stop the evil god tribe from opening the passageway. However, there was a battle on the way. When we entered this battlefield, we were attacked by the expert seals. Out of the 10 of us, only the 3 of us made it here. After the elder finished speaking, he let out a long sigh. The 10 of them who broke out of the encirclement were all experts. Unfortunately, in order to come here, they had lost so many people. It was definitely a huge loss. However, in order to stop the evil god tribe, they had no choice. In order to open the passageway, the evil god tribe had sent a large number of experts here. Their losses were definitely shocking. It seems that the evil god tribe is well prepared. They are afraid that the experts of Two World City will discover them and come to stop them. Evil Sword Master's gaze was even colder. Now, we have no choice but to kill our way in. At this moment, the passageway in front of them shone brightly. The evil god tribe seemed to have set up a large array and started to activate it. Endless light condensed into something that looked like a huge spiral drill. It faced the void and seemed to be drilling a new passageway at the original location of the passageway. Rumble. The space trembled and collapsed continuously, revealing a pitch-black cave. There's no time to lose. Attack. The 2 of you, stay here. Evil Sword Master glanced at Lu Ming and Dandan. In a flash, he charged toward the experts of the evil god tribe. Evil Sword Master's speed was shocking. In a few flashes, he was close to the evil god tribe. Enemy attack. There were too many experts of the evil god tribe. The moment Evil Sword Master got close, the other party discovered him. Someone shouted. Swoosh! Evil Sword Master attacked. A long sword appeared in his hand. With a slash, sword light shook the sky. A powerful evil god tribe member was directly split into 2 and his soul was obliterated. So strong! Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. That evil god tribe member was definitely a great emperor, but he was instantly killed by Evil Sword Master. Although Evil Sword Master had yet to recover from his injuries, his combat strength was still terrifying. This guy was many times stronger than he is now when he was at his peak. In the heaven domain, he's a peerless expert. Of course, compared to me, there's still a gap. Dandan said, not forgetting to boast. Kill! Evil Sword Master shouted. A terrifying aura exploded, and the heavens and earth were filled with an indescribable pressure. Evil Sword Master wore a grey robe and looked very old. However, when he attacked, he had a domineering aura. Evil chi surged from his body, and his sword light seemed to split the heavens and earth. Poof! Poof! Several experts of the evil god tribe were killed by Evil Sword Master. Break! Evil Sword Master shouted. A sword light slashed above the void. The void was directly split open, and countless runes appeared there. Then, those runes exploded. This was the array that the evil god tribe had set up. Evil Sword Master had cut a section of it. At the same time, the drill that was condensed by the array exploded with a bang and disappeared from the place. Kill him! The experts of the evil god tribe shouted. Their auras exploded, shaking the heavens and earth. So many great emperors! Lu Ming was shocked. There were too many great emperors in the evil god tribe. Most of them were extremely terrifying. Their auras were far stronger than the Hung family Great Emperor and Great Emperor Wu Xiang that Lu Ming had met before. Many of them were definitely high-level Great Emperors. Some were even peak Great Emperors. With so many Great Emperors joining forces, it was too terrifying. However, Evil Sword Master was even stronger. With a metal sword in his hand, he charged into the evil god tribe. With a slash of his sword, an expert was killed. With a slash of his sword, blood splattered everywhere. The three experts from Two World City also made their move. Chapter 22:15. The three from Two World City are all peak Great Emperors. However, there are many peak Great Emperors in the Evil God tribe. They can only hold back a portion of the forces and won't be of much use. Evil Swordsman is the key. Dandan sent a message to Lu Ming. Although his cultivation was not as strong as it was in the ancient era, he was still able to judge one's cultivation based on their aura. Surround and kill them. The experts from the Evil God tribe roared. There were at least 4 or 5 of them who were as strong as the 3 from Two World City. They surrounded Evil Swordsman. According to Dandan, they were all peak Great Emperors. Evil Swordsman's evil aura became denser as he fought with his opponents. Poof! After a few slashes, one of the peak Great Emperors was killed by Evil Swordsman. Although Evil Swordsman had not recovered from his injuries, his fighting strength was still terrifying. Kill! Evil Swordsman roared as his sword light soared into the sky. The sword light was thousands of miles long and extremely terrifying. As he slashed out, the void shattered. Many of the weaker Evil God tribe members were swept into the sword light and turned into ashes. Heavenly Emperor! It's the Heavenly Emperor! How can the Heavenly Emperor come here? Many of the Evil God tribe members roared in anger and disbelief. Too many peerless experts had died in the past in this region and left behind their imprints. Once they sensed a powerful expert, those imprints would appear and kill the enemy. Especially the Heavenly Emperor. Once he came to this region, the imprints of the experts would sense it and they would even leave their original location to attack and kill the Heavenly Emperor. In the past, there were Heavenly Emperors who had come here, but they had all died. Of course, the terrifying Heavenly Emperors were an exception. Their strength was not weaker than those peerless experts when they were alive. With such strength, they were not afraid even when those experts were alive. Why would they be afraid when they were dead? However, Evil Swordsman's fighting strength was not that of a peerless expert. He was only an ordinary Heavenly Emperor. How could he come here? Swoosh! Swoosh! Evil Swordsman slashed out continuously. Every time he slashed out, an Evil God tribe member would die under his sword. At the same time, the void shattered and the array set up by the Evil God tribe was destroyed. Heavenly Emperor weapons! Someone from the Evil God tribe shouted. Wang! Wang! Several terrifying waves of energy spread out in succession. Then, a huge axe, a huge mountain, and a saber appeared in the sky. This was a Celestial Emperor weapon, a weapon controlled by the Celestial Emperor. Celestial Emperors themselves could not enter, but Celestial Emperors could bring their weapons in. When the Celestial Great Imperial weapons didn't awaken, those imprints couldn't be sensed. Besides, they were inanimate objects, so those imprints wouldn't have any reaction. Boom! 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 The 3 Celestial Emperor weapons were awakened and emitted a terrifying energy fluctuation. The energy of the Heavenly Way shot towards Evil Swordsman. If the Celestial Emperor armament is not controlled by the Celestial Emperor, how much power can it unleash? I'll show you the true power of a Celestial Arch weapon. Evil Sword Artist said coldly. The long sword in his hand let out a terrifying sword whistle. Clang! Sword cries filled the sky as several terrifying sword radiances shot out from Evil Sword Master's hands. Dong! 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 3 terrifying collisions rang out. The 3 Heavenly Emperor armaments of the Evil God race trembled violently and were sent flying. The 3 Evil God race experts controlling the Heavenly Emperor armaments coughed up large mouthfuls of blood. Their bodies cracked and in the end, they directly exploded. Without a doubt, the long sword in Evil Sword Artist's hand was also a Celestial Emperor weapon. Under his control, it was extremely powerful. You're courting death. At this moment, a roar could be heard from afar. An extremely terrifying aura was rushing towards them. Then, a huge demonic shadow appeared between heaven and earth. The demonic shadow was extremely huge, like a mountain. It stood between heaven and earth and was heading towards them. Old Ancestor. The evil god tribe members were overjoyed. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed and he looked extremely solemn. When he had passed through the passage from the primordial realm, he had seen 4 huge demonic shadows fighting against the 9 divine 9-dragon cauldrons. This demonic shadow was extremely similar to one of the previous 4. Boom! The demonic shadow moved. It punched out and the void shattered. The huge fist was wrapped in void turbulence and headed towards Evil Sword Artist. At this moment, Evil Sword Artist's eyes were extremely solemn. The long sword in his hand vibrated continuously and his aura became stronger. Swoosh! In the end, Evil Sword Artist slashed out with his sword. A shocking sword light slashed towards the huge fist. When the sword light and the fist collided, there was an ear-piercing sound. Although they were still far away, Lu Ming felt a piercing pain in his eardrums. The blood in his body was boiling and he felt like his body was about to explode. Dandan also used his strength to resist. He was slightly better off than Lu Ming. Bam! Then, Evil Sword Artist's sword light shattered. The remaining strength of the fist blasted towards Evil Sword Artist, causing him to retreat frantically. Not good. Senior Evil Sword Artist is no match for him. Lu Ming's face turned ugly. That's the old ancestor of the evil god tribe. He's an unparalleled elite. However, he should be injured. His combat strength is far from his peak. Dandan said. Lu Ming knew that the old ancestor of the evil god tribe must have been injured when he fought with the divine 9-dragon cauldron and the huge true dragon in the sky. An ancient antique from the primordial era. Today, I'll send you on your way. The old ancestor of the evil god tribe spoke. His voice rumbled in the sky. His body started to shrink, and he became more than 3 meters tall. His speed increased greatly, and he instantly closed in on Evil Sword Artist. This was also a member of the evil god tribe with purple scales. He wasn't a member of the royal family, but a member of the evil god tribe. However, his cultivation had already reached a terrifying realm. His palm was like a knife as he slashed out a few times towards Evil Sword Artist. Evil Sword Artist fought with him, but he was no match for him. After a few moves, Evil Sword Artist trembled violently and was sent flying far away. A trace of blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. Although the old ancestor of the evil god tribe was also injured, his injuries were far less severe than Evil Sword Artist's. In the primordial era, Evil Sword Artist had almost died in battle. He was only left with a wisp of his soul. After so many years, he still hadn't recovered. His combat strength was too far from his peak. Kill! The old ancestor of the evil god tribe had the upper hand, and his attacks were even more violent. You're just a junior. I'll fight with you. Blood flowed from Evil Sword Artist's mouth, but his eyes were exceptionally bright. At this moment, a layer of light shone on his body, burning fiercely like a flame. At the same time, Evil Sword Artist's aura surged wildly. Evil Sword Artist is going to go all out. Dandan said as he watched with rapt attention. Clang! Evil Sword Artist slashed out with his sword. A sword light that was several times more terrifying than before slashed towards the old ancestor of the evil god tribe. The old ancestor of the evil god tribe had a serious look on his face. A battle axe appeared in his hand, and he charged towards Evil Sword Artist. Clang! Clang! The two experts let out a terrifying explosion as they fought fiercely. For a moment, it was difficult to determine the victor. The two of them charged into the sky and fought. Chapter 22:16. The intense battle continued, but the situation was getting worse for the heavenly domain. They had too few people. Dandan, can we only watch? Is there any way we can help? Lu Ming asked anxiously. Although he had the Heavenly Emperor's body, it only had about 10% of its energy. However, there were a lot of great emperors in the evil god tribe, and there was no lack of peak great emperors. In such a battle, the Heavenly Emperor's body was not very useful. He was afraid that if he controlled the Heavenly Emperor's body, its energy would be exhausted in a few moves. At that time, he could only wait for death. Our cultivation is too far away from theirs. We can't help at all. Dandan was also a little anxious. No matter how knowledgeable, resourceful, and crafty he was at his wits' end. Oh right. Suddenly, Lu Ming thought of something. His eyes lit up and he said, "Where is the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron? If there is the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron, we might be able to help." Lu Ming had refined 9 drops of 9-dragon blood essence and could control the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron. As long as he could find the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron, with Lu Ming's current cultivation, once he controlled it, its power would definitely be amazing. Dandan's eyes also lit up and he said, "Let's look around nearby." Immediately, the two of them restrained their auras and avoided the battlefield, searching nearby. Lu Ming's mind was highly focused as he sensed carefully. However, they did not dare to get close to the battlefield and could only search in the surrounding area. After searching for more than half a circle, they did not find anything. The two of them were not discouraged and continued to search. When the two of them came to the back of the passageway, Lu Ming suddenly felt something. He felt that the blood in his body was a little hot, and his circulation was changing faster. There is really a feeling. Lu Ming's eyes lit up as he looked around. It was a messy pile of rocks, piled up everywhere in a mess. These rocks are not natural. They were shattered. Could it be that the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron was underground? Blasted into the ground? Dandan guessed. The two of them rushed into the pile of rocks. Lu Ming's feeling became stronger and stronger. "Let me." Dandan's entire body glowed as it transformed into its original form, a gigantic tortoise. "I'll dig." The giant tortoise began to dig at the ground with its 4 limbs. Immediately, gravel flew everywhere, and a large area of soil was lifted up. Not long after, a piece of metal was exposed. "It's really the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron." Lu Ming was overjoyed. This piece of metal was the material of the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron. Lu Ming wouldn't be mistaken. Dandan also became excited and began to dig crazily. He used the power of laws, causing large amounts of soil to tremble and be sent flying. Lu Ming also helped. He converted the law of primal chaos into the law of earth to help excavate. Large chunks of soil loosened and flew out automatically. A Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron appeared, followed by a second, a third. Soon, 9 mountain-sized 9-dragon cauldrons appeared in their vision. "The 9 dragon veins are gone." "No, they are on top of the dragon cauldron." Lu Ming looked around and found something different about the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron. The Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron originally had a true dragon pattern engraved on it, but now, there was an additional pattern on it. This pattern was very similar to the dragon veins, vivid and lifelike. However, the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron didn't seem to have any energy fluctuations. It was like a piece of scrap metal. Lu Ming hugged a Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron, but there was no reaction from it at all. What's going on? Why is there no reaction? Lu Ming was puzzled. It should be that its energy has been exhausted. Even the energy of the dragon veins has been exhausted. Dandan said, frowning and deep in thought. One could imagine that the previous battle was definitely tragic. Even the energy of the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron and the 9 dragon veins had been exhausted. However, the results of the battle were also shocking. The passage was destroyed, and the evil god tribe's patriarch was seriously injured. Lu Ming, you have refined the blood essence of the 9 dragons. Try it with your blood. Dandan suddenly said. All right. Lu Ming nodded. Blood seeped out of his palm on its own. Lu Ming's figure flashed, and his palm continuously smacked the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron, leaving a bloody handprint on each of the 9 cauldrons. Awaken! Lu Ming roared. The muscles on his body bulged, and all the blood energy in his body started to circulate crazily. Roar! A dragon roar came from Lu Ming's body, reverberating through the sky. This was the sound of the 9 dragons. There's someone over there. The dragon roar traveled very far and finally alarmed the evil god tribe. A few ants. I'll go and kill him. An evil god tribe member walked toward Lu Ming's side at an astonishing speed. This was the arch-evil god tribe member. Lu Ming, hurry up. Dandan was anxious. Awaken. Lu Ming roared. His blood energy surged, and dragon roars rang out. Buzz! 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 The divine 9 dragon cauldron finally reacted. The bloody handprint that Lu Ming left on the cauldron glowed and was then absorbed by the divine 9 dragon cauldron. The divine 9 dragon cauldron started to vibrate, and its aura became stronger and stronger. The divine 9 dragon cauldron started to awaken. Awaken! Lu Ming continued to roar. Above his head, the phantom of 9 dragons appeared, causing the divine 9 dragon cauldron to vibrate even more violently. At this moment, the evil god tribe's the arch had already arrived. Kill! The evil god tribe's the arch shouted coldly. A beam of destructive light shot out from his forehead, enveloping Lu Ming and Dandan within it. It's over. I'm finished. Dandan screamed miserably. Rise! Lu Ming roared. With a wave of his hand, the divine 9 dragon cauldron rushed out from the ground, blocking in front of him. Clang! The evil god tribe's Thearka's destructive light struck the divine 9 dragon cauldron, causing it to vibrate violently. That beam of destructive light was blocked. Suppress! Following which, Lu Ming pushed out with a single hand. The divine 9 dragon cauldron enlarged once more and smashed towards the evil god tribe's arch. Ant-like thing dares to attack me? The evil god tribe's arch roared coldly. Another beam of light shot out from his forehead, blasting towards the divine 9 dragon cauldron. But this time around, a dragon roar rang out from the divine 9 dragon cauldron. Its might was even stronger. With a tremor, it shattered the destructive light of the evil god tribe's arch and continued to smash towards the evil god tribe's arch. The evil god tribe's Thearka's eyes narrowed. A battle axe appeared in his hand, and he chopped down at the divine 9 dragon cauldron. Clang! A deafening explosion rang out, reverberating through the skies. The divine 9 dragon cauldron was blocked. However, the evil god tribe's Thearka's body trembled violently. He couldn't help but retreat continuously, his face pale. What a strong might! Again! Lu Ming was overjoyed. With his current cultivation base, controlling the divine 9 dragon cauldron had indeed increased the might of the cauldron. However, perhaps this had something to do with the divine 9 dragon cauldron awakening earlier, causing its might to be even more shocking. Boom! The divine 9 dragon cauldron continued to smash towards the evil god tribe's arch. At the same time, the auras of the other divine 9 dragon cauldrons were also getting stronger. Buzz! Chapter 22:17. The 2 divine 9 dragon cauldrons resonated with each other, and their power multiplied. Boom! The first cauldron pressed down. The evil god tribe Great Emperor's body shook violently, and he coughed out large mouthfuls of blood. The arm that held the battle axe cracked, and even the bones were broken. Boom! The second cauldron pressed down. The evil god tribe Great Emperor let out a miserable cry, and his body was torn into pieces. He had fallen. A great emperor, even though he should be a low-level great emperor, was killed by the continuous attacks of the 2 divine 9 dragon cauldrons. The divine 9 dragon cauldrons had awakened, and their power was terrifying. Damn it, go and kill them. In the distance, an evil god tribe member noticed this scene and immediately roared in anger. Swish! 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 At least 5 or 6 evil god tribe members charged towards Lu Ming and the others. Among them, there were even high-level great emperors. Come on, fully awaken. Lu Ming let out a long roar. Roar! Lu Ming's body glowed, and 9 dragons coiled around him. The 9 divine 9 dragon cauldrons vibrated, and dragon roars could be heard. The 9 dragon veins that coiled around the divine 9 dragon cauldrons seemed to have come to life. They emitted light and they looked lifelike. Wang! 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 Next, the 9 divine 9 dragon cauldrons flew up and floated around Lu Ming and Dandan. One of them floated above their heads, and a ray of light shone down, enveloping the 2 of them. The other 8 floated around the 2 of them. At this moment the evil god tribe members had also arrived. The 6 evil god tribe members were all great emperors, and there were even high-level great emperors. With so many great emperors joining forces, it was definitely terrifying. Kill! Lu Ming roared, and with a push of his hands, the 8 divine 9 dragon cauldrons flew out. They expanded continuously, filling the sky, and pressed down on the 6 evil god tribe members. Within the divine 9 dragon cauldrons, dragon roars could be heard. The 8 cauldrons were even bigger than the immemorial divine mountains, and they were filled with endless power. Bam! Bam! The divine 9 dragon cauldrons pressed down, and the low-level great emperor screamed in pain. His body exploded, and he died on the spot. As for the high-level great emperor, his body also cracked, and blood spurted out of his mouth. Wang! The 8 divine cauldrons trembled, and a terrifying energy burst out. The high-level evil god tribe great emperor's body exploded inch by inch, and he too died. The divine 9 dragon cauldrons contained. The divine 9 dragon cauldrons have awakened. Kill! Dandan was excited. Kill! He Lin shouted evil god. He controlled the divine 9 dragon cauldrons was. Evil was evil was the evil ancestor. Evil sword artist had activated his origin energy, and his combat strength had increased tremendously. However, he could only fight to a draw with the evil god tribe patriarch. Although the 3 great emperors from 2 World City were peak great emperors, there were too many experts on the other side. At that moment, they were in a precarious situation. They were covered in blood and could die at any time. Right then, Lu Ming had arrived. Of the 9 cauldrons, 1 was used to protect him, while the other 8 were used to attack the evil god race. The 8 cauldrons covered the sky and covered the sun. A dragon vein appeared on each cauldron, emitting light as it roared toward the sky. The 8 cauldrons resonated with each other, and their power increased exponentially. Boom! Boom! The cauldrons pressed down, and the members of the evil god tribe exploded one by one. Those below the level of great emperor had no power to fight back. Even for great emperors, low-level great emperors below the level of 3-star great emperors, they couldn't fight back and were killed one after another. Even the high-level great emperors above 4 stars couldn't resist. They spurted out blood, and their bodies were on the verge of exploding. A single attack had killed many members of the evil god tribe. Dandan's eyes lit up as she exclaimed in delight. Kill him! The members of the evil god tribe roared. Some of the peak great emperors charged at Lu Ming and Dandan. Lu Ming controlled the divine 9 dragon cauldrons and attacked. Dong! 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 The divine 9 dragon cauldrons clashed with the peak great emperors. In an instant, they had exchanged dozens of blows. The peak great emperors were forced to retreat, spurting out blood. Cracks appeared on his body. The divine 9 dragon cauldrons seemed to have awakened. Even the peak great emperors couldn't resist. Kill! The 3 peak great emperors of the 2 world city seized the opportunity to kill one of the enemy's peak great emperors. At the same time, Lu Ming controlled the divine 9 dragon cauldrons and attacked. With Lu Ming's help, they had the upper hand. The experts of the evil god tribe were being hunted down. In just a few minutes, more than 200 members of the evil god tribe were killed. There were dozens of great emperors. This was a shocking result. If this happened in the primordial realm, it would scare people to death. Although this was the battlefield between the Taiching Sky Domain and the foreign races, and most of the experts of the 2 worlds were gathered here. There were many great emperors and heavenly emperors. However, it was rare for dozens of great emperors to die at once. The great emperors of the evil god tribe were scared. They retreated when they saw Lu Ming. Go and help Senior Evil Sword Guest. Lu Ming controlled the Divine Nine Dragon Cauldrons and flew toward the battlefield of Evil Sword Guest and the Evil God Tribe Ancestor. Suppress! Lu Ming shouted. He pushed with both hands and the 8 Divine Nine Dragon Cauldrons flew out and suppressed the Evil God Tribe Ancestor. 2 ants, you are courting death. The Evil God Tribe Ancestor roared. Lu Ming had killed so many experts of the Evil God Tribe just now. His killing intent was extremely strong. Rays of light burst out from his third eye. It was the light of destruction. However, the light of destruction of the Evil God Tribe Ancestor was not just a ray of light. It could transform into 3-eyed demonic beasts that were as big as mountains. They pounced on Lu Ming and collided with the Divine Nine Dragon Cauldrons. Boom! Boom! Terrifying vibrations resounded through the sky. The void was disintegrating continuously as if it was returning to chaos. The 8 cauldrons were sent flying back. Lu Ming felt a terrifying force pressing on him, almost causing his body to explode. Lu Ming retreated quickly. His face was pale and his blood was boiling. What a terrifying force! Lu Ming finally understood that the Evil God Tribe Ancestor was too strong. He could not be mentioned in the same breath as the Great Emperor. They were worlds apart. Although the Patriarch of the Evil God Tribe was seriously injured and was in a fierce battle with the Evil Swordsman, the destructive light that was emitted from his third eye was able to repel the Nine Dragon Cauldron and almost injure Lu Ming. Dandan, let's enter the cauldron. Lu Ming said to Dandan. Dandan nodded. Then, the 2 of them flew into the cauldron above their heads. In the cauldron, the protective power was stronger. External forces would be blocked by the cauldron. Then, Lu Ming controlled the Divine Nine Dragon Cauldron and let it fly out to meet with the other 8 cauldrons. The combined power of the 9 cauldrons was even more terrifying. The Divine Nine Dragon Cauldron spun and attacked the Evil God Tribe Ancestor. Boom! This time, it finally destroyed the demonic beasts formed by the light of destruction and attacked the Evil God Tribe Ancestor's body. Clang! Chapter 22:18. Evil Swordsman's sword was stunning. It finally broke through the Evil God Tribe Patriarch's attack and charged towards him. The cultivation method of the Evil God Tribe was not a system of laws. It was very similar to the immemorial system of the Heaven Domain. They cultivated a strange power that was very powerful. It was both offensive and defensive. At this moment, it was slashed open by Evil Swordsman's sword light. A deep sword wound was left on the Evil God Tribe Patriarch's body. Roar! The Evil God Tribe Patriarch roared. A layer of purple light covered his body as he charged towards Evil Swordsman. At this moment, Lu Ming controlled the Divine Nine Dragon Cauldron and charged over again. The Divine Nine Dragon Cauldron resonated with each other and suppressed the Evil God Tribe Patriarch together. The Evil God Tribe Patriarch waved the weapon in his hand and attacked continuously. Boom! 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 The Divine Nine Dragon Cauldron kept rumbling and was sent flying. However, Evil Swordsman's attack came again. The Evil God Tribe Patriarch was already severely injured and his fighting strength was greatly reduced. Now that he was surrounded by Lu Ming and Evil Swordsman, he was completely at a disadvantage. The rest of the Evil God Tribe were shocked. Even the Evil God Tribe Patriarch was no match for them. Then how could they open the passage? As for the 3 experts from Two World City, they were overjoyed. Lu Ming could control the Divine Nine Dragon Cauldron and unleash boundless fighting strength. It was a pleasant surprise. This gave them a chance to turn the tables. But at this moment, their faces changed drastically. Because in the distance, there were a few extremely terrifying auras that were spreading towards them. The few of them looked in one direction. There were 3 huge demonic figures that were heading towards them. The strength of their auras was not weaker than the Evil God Tribe Patriarchs. The Evil God Tribe's peerless experts, and there are 3 of them at once. The 3 people from Two World City were pale, and despair was written all over their faces. In the Heavenly Emperor realm, there was a huge gap between each level. The gap between each level was huge. Only Heavenly Emperors who were 4-star Heavenly Emperors and above could be called peerless experts. Such people already stood at the peak of the world. They were at the top of the pyramid of all living beings and were unbelievably powerful. The reason why this ancient battlefield was so terrifying was that a group of peerless experts had fought in the past. After many experts died, they left behind an inextinguishable mark that was extremely terrifying. The evil god tribe patriarch. It wasn't hard to imagine just how powerful a peerless powerhouse was. Now, there were 3 of them. Inside the divine nine-dragon cauldron, Lu Ming and Dandan could also sense the situation outside. At this moment, their faces changed drastically. It's them! Lu Ming roared. Back then, when he crossed over from the primordial realm, he saw 4 incomparably huge demonic figures of the evil god tribe fighting a fierce battle with the divine nine-dragon cauldron. Clearly, it was these 4 people. The ancestors are here. The members of the evil god tribe were wild with joy. For the sake of seizing this passageway, the evil god race could be said to have made ample preparations. First, they sent a large army to attack Two World City, preventing the Heavenly Realm experts from diverting their attention to reinforce them. Then, they opened up this passageway. When the evil god race's army entered the primordial realm, the overall situation would be decided. Kill! In the distance, an ancestor of the evil god tribe roared. The void exploded unceasingly. The scene was extremely horrifying. Damn it! Evil sword artist roared. One ancestor of the evil god tribe was already hard enough to deal with, and now there were 3 more. He could sense that the ancestors of the evil god tribe were all injured. Their strength was not as strong as before, but it was still extremely shocking. The 3 demonic figures rushed over with extreme speed. Boom! But at this moment, the sky in the distance exploded violently. The void collapsed, and a huge hand stretched out from the dark void. The huge hand was incomparably huge, and it was filled with the might of the heavenly Tao. It blasted toward the 3 ancestors of the evil god tribe. Who is it? Imitating the ancestors of the evil god tribe, they roared and blasted out attacks toward the huge hand. Boom! That part of the void was directly smashed. It was as if the world had been destroyed and returned to chaos. Amidst the terrifying explosion, that huge hand exploded. But then, a figure appeared in that area. This figure was enveloped by divine light, and his appearance could not be seen clearly. One could only roughly feel that he was burly and filled with supreme majesty. Boom! That figure continued to attack. His hands continuously blasted out terrifying palm prints toward the 3 ancestors of the evil god tribe. It's a peerless expert of our heavenly realm. The 3 experts of Two World City were ecstatic. Finally, a peerless expert of the heavenly realm had rushed over. The ancestors of the evil god tribe were injured in the end. At this moment, the 3 of them were suppressed by a peerless expert of the heavenly realm. The 3 of them were extremely indignant and roared. If they were at their peak, they would not be weaker than the other party. It was a pity that they were injured and their strength was greatly reduced. That was why they were so sullen. The 3 of them were suppressed by the other party. You go and kill them. Leave this person to the 2 of us. At this moment, an evil god tribe ancestor roared. The light on his body became brighter and brighter. 2 of the ancestors of the evil god tribe went all out. Ignoring their injuries, they forcefully raised their combat strength to the peak and charged toward the peerless expert of the heavenly realm. The 3 of them collided horribly and fought in the depths of the dark void. The remaining ancestor of the evil god tribe charged toward Lu Ming and the others. Ant, die! The ancestor of the evil god tribe roared and stretched out a palm. His palm was suffused with terrifying light as he grabbed toward Lu Ming. Even though they were very far away, a terrifying pressure pressed down on the divine nine-dragon cauldron, causing it to buzz and vibrate. Kill! Lu Ming controlled the divine nine-dragon cauldron and attacked the other party. Boom! Boom! The Divine Nine Dragon Cauldron collided with the other party's attack. It vibrated continuously and then was sent flying. Lu Ming and Dandan were hiding in a Divine Nine Dragon Cauldron. At this moment, they were also violently shaken. Their blood and chi were boiling. Swoosh! The ancestor of the evil god tribe charged over. His incomparably huge body started to shrink and eventually became the size of an ordinary person. This ancestor of the evil god tribe was not much different from a human. He had a head of purple hair and was incomparably handsome. The only difference was that there was a third eye at the center of his brows. This was a royal member of the evil god tribe. The royal member of the evil god tribe was too strong. Even though he was injured, his combat strength was still very terrifying. His entire body was enveloped by a layer of purple light. The third eye at the center of his brows lit up. 9 sparkling and resplendent battle swords flew out and slashed toward the Divine Nine Dragon Cauldron. Clang! Clang! The battle swords continuously slashed on the Divine Nine Dragon Cauldron. Sparks flew everywhere and the cauldron vibrated continuously. Lu Ming and Dandan were hiding in that cauldron and were surrounded by 8 other cauldrons. But even so, the terrifying power of the other party still surged in, causing Lu Ming to vomit large mouthfuls of blood. Dandan's cultivation was slightly higher, so it was slightly better. The situation was not good for Lu Ming and the others. If this continued, they would be killed by the other party even with the Divine Nine Dragon Cauldron. The main thing was that the difference in cultivation was too great. If Lu Ming had the cultivation of a true emperor, the situation would be much better. Awaken, Divine Nine Dragon Cauldron. Chapter 22:19. In Lu Ming's body, his blood and chi surged like a river, and they were also like true dragons swimming around. Roar! Dragon roars rang out. The 9 dragon phantom around Lu Ming's body suddenly broke apart and rushed into Lu Ming's body. Then, 9 drops of blood essence flew out from Lu Ming's body. 9 dragon blood essence. Lu Ming didn't need to think to know that this was the 9 dragon blood essence. The 9 dragon blood essence that he had refined in his body actually flew out of his body. Suddenly, Lu Ming felt extremely weak. His physical strength was rapidly weakening. The 9 drops of 9 dragon blood essence shone and flew into the 9 divine 9 dragon cauldrons. Roar! Roar! At this moment, the 9 divine 9 dragon cauldrons let out a shocking dragon roar. At the same time, the 9 divine 9 dragon cauldrons actually started to merge. Such a change caused the expression of the evil god tribe's patriarch to change. He launched an even stronger attack. However, the divine 9 dragon cauldrons completed the merger amidst the tremors. The 9 cauldrons merged into one. Lu Ming and Dandan were still in the divine 9 dragon cauldrons. When the 9 cauldrons merged into one, their power increased greatly. They were even larger than mountains, filling the sky and suppressing the other party. Dong! Dong! The other party's battle sword continuously slashed at the divine 9 dragon cauldrons. However, when the 9 cauldrons merged into one, their power was indeed stronger. With a shake, the other party's battle sword shattered inch by inch. Kill! The divine 9 dragon cauldrons didn't stop, attacking the other party. Boom! The other party's palms struck the divine 9 dragon cauldrons. The cauldrons were fine, but the other party's body shook violently, and he was forced to retreat continuously. Kill! 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 Lu Ming's killing intent surged. He took the opportunity to control the divine 9 dragon cauldrons and continuously attacked the other party. The attacks of the divine 9 dragon cauldrons were barbaric and direct. There was no technique, just crushing the other party. Kill, kill, kill this bastard! Dandan made a fuss. Boom! The evil god tribe's patriarch was sent flying again. He retreated continuously, his purple hair fluttering in the wind, and his eyes filled with rage. Ants! The evil god tribe's patriarch roared. He could feel the cultivation bases of Lu Ming and Dandan in the divine nine-dragon cauldron. In his eyes, they were no different from ants. But now, he was being suppressed by two ants. This made him furious. Amidst his enraged bellows, the body of the evil god tribe's old ancestor started to expand rapidly. In the end, he surpassed the mountain peak and pierced into the clouds, becoming even bigger than the divine nine-dragon cauldron. At the same time, the light on his body became even brighter, and his aura continued to rise. Not good, this guy is going all out. He doesn't care about his injuries and raises his strength to the peak. Dandan exclaimed. Boom! At this moment, the aura of the evil god tribe's old ancestor reached its peak. A beam of light shot out from the third eye, transforming into a gigantic sword that slashed towards the nine-dragon cauldron. The divine nine-dragon cauldron also emitted a layer of light that blasted toward the other party. Dong! A terrifying tremor rang out. That region completely exploded. The earth split apart, and the space was smashed into smithereens. They appeared in the dark void and continued to fight. The evil god tribe's old ancestor slammed out with his palm blotting out the skies as it slammed into the divine nine-dragon cauldron. The divine nine-dragon cauldron shook violently again. Next, the evil god tribe's old ancestor unleashed a torrential barrage of attacks. At this moment, the evil god tribe's old ancestor ignored his injuries and raised his strength to the peak. It was truly shocking. This was a true peerless expert, a figure that reigned supreme in the universe. He was simply too strong. At this moment, even if the divine nine-dragon cauldron were to merge into one, it would still be difficult to defeat the other party. Roar! Roar! The divine nine-dragon cauldron was suppressed, but the dragon roars continued, and they were getting louder and louder. Finally, a true dragon appeared above the divine nine-dragon cauldron. No, it was 9 dragons. A 9 dragon with 9 dragon claws under its abdomen. 9 dragons appeared. At the start, they were still illusory, but they became more and more real. In the end, they became lifelike, as if they were real. It was as if 9 dragons had come back to life. Nestle, the 9 dragons have appeared. No, this is the combination of his blood essence and the imprint of the divine nine-dragon cauldron. It's not a physical body. Dandan shouted. Roar! The 9 dragons roared. Their eyes were as resplendent as the sun. Their dragon claws stepped on the air, pouncing toward the evil god tribe's old ancestor. 9 dragons! The evil god tribe's old ancestor shouted. Fear flashed across his eyes. Although he was the old ancestor of the evil god tribe, he was not someone who had survived from the ancient era. He was born later and had never seen the 9 dragons. However, he had heard of the rumors about the 9 dragons. The top 10 battle beasts of the heaven domain were all peak experts. They were extremely terrifying. Back then, countless experts of the evil god tribe had died in their hands. There were experts among his ancestors who had died in the hands of the top 10 battle beasts. When he saw the 9 dragons appear, he was instinctively frightened. However, he immediately reacted. This was not a physical body, not the real 9 dragons. What did he have to be afraid of? He roared and charged toward the 9 dragons, fighting with them. After all, the 9 dragons were just 9 drops of blood essence and the imprint of the divine nine-dragon cauldron. Their strength was far from their peak. On the other hand, the evil god tribe's old ancestor had already raised his strength to his peak. The two sides fought, and it was difficult to determine the victor. Lu Ming, it's more important to completely destroy that passageway. Don't fight with the other party. At this moment, Evil Swordsman's voice sounded. That's right. Lu Ming nodded secretly and sent a message to Evil Swordsman. Senior, how can I completely destroy that passageway? You control the 9 dragons and let them attack that passageway. Turn the space there into nothingness and return to chaos. In that case, it will take at least 100 years for the passageway to reappear. This will buy us some time. Evil Swordsman said. All right. Lu Ming made up his mind and started to control the divine nine-dragon cauldron. Boom! The 9 dragons exchanged another blow with the other party. Then, they turned around and charged toward the original passageway. The divine 9-dragon cauldron was below the 9 dragons. Following the 9 dragons, it quickly moved toward the original passageway. You want to leave? Stay! The evil god tribe's old ancestor roared and chased after Lu Ming. Lu Ming controlled the divine 9-dragon cauldron and moved very quickly. In the blink of an eye, he had arrived at the original passageway. Roar! The 9 dragons roared and stomped their claws. A terrifying attack blasted toward that location. The space in that area kept exploding and turning into the tiniest particles. Back then, although the passageway had collapsed and exploded, it hadn't exploded completely. From time to time, cracks in space would appear. In that case, it was still possible to open it with some powerful means. However, if it collapsed completely, it would be difficult to open it in a short period of time. The evil god tribe's old ancestor naturally knew what Lu Ming was going to do. He was instantly enraged and charged toward Lu Ming. However, at this moment, a dragon's roar came from the depths of the sky. A huge real dragon appeared and clawed at the evil god tribe's old ancestor. It's the real dragon. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. When he had passed through the passageway and just arrived in the heaven realm, he had seen the divine 9-dragon cauldron and the 9 dragon veins fighting against the evil god tribe's old ancestor. Chapter 22:20. Previously, Lu Ming hadn't seen that true dragon and thought that it had already fallen. But now, it seemed that it hadn't. This true dragon was fighting with the evil god race's ancestor, making it impossible for him to come over. Lu Ming controlled the divine 9-dragon cauldron with all his might, allowing the 9 dragons to continuously bombard the space. Space kept exploding. Could this be the ancestral dragon? At this moment, Dandan looked at the incomparably huge true dragon in the sky, dumbfounded and incomparably shocked. Ancestral dragon? What is that? A senior? Lu Ming asked curiously. It was rare to see someone who could make Dandan so shocked. Lu Ming was very surprised. No, it's not the ancestral dragon. If it's really the ancestral dragon, he can kill this evil god race with just a breath. No, it's just a trace of his aura. Dandan didn't seem to have heard Lu Ming's words. He muttered to himself, still looking dazed. Lu Ming was shocked. How was it possible that he could kill this evil god race with just a breath? This evil god race was a peerless powerhouse, a heavenly emperor above 4 stars. Even a peak heavenly emperor wouldn't be able to kill him with just a breath. But a peak heavenly emperor already stood at the peak of this world. According to Lu Ming's understanding, a heavenly emperor was the limit of cultivation in this world, the true peak invincible. Could it be that there was an existence stronger than a peak heavenly emperor? Lu Ming thought that Dandan was bragging. He didn't think too much about it and controlled the 9 dragons with all his might, constantly bombarding the void. This was somewhat like kneading dough. If you didn't knead a ball of dough, there would be many cracks. Those balls of dough wouldn't completely fuse together. If you followed the cracks, you could separate the entire ball of dough. However, after continuous kneading and slapping, the dough would fuse together and those cracks would also disappear. Right now, this void, this passageway, was like this. It was like the dough before being kneaded. There were still cracks. The evil god race could follow these cracks and completely open the passageway. And Lu Ming's current bombardment was kneading the dough, wanting to completely fuse these spaces together and make the cracks disappear. Of course, this required astonishing strength. Even ordinary heavenly emperors would find it difficult to do so. At this moment, Lu Ming's 9 drops of 9 dragons' essence blood flew out, manifesting 9 dragons. Only with this kind of power could the passage completely collapse and the cracks disappear. The evil god race's old ancestor naturally knew what Lu Ming and the others were planning. However, one of them was blocked by the enormous true dragon, and was unable to break free from it. Dream on. The ancestor of the evil god tribe, who was fighting with evil sword artist, roared. The light on his body shone brightly. At this moment, he could no longer care about his injuries. He risked aggravating his injuries and unleashed all his strength. Boom! Evil Sword Master was sent flying with a single move. However, Evil Sword Master didn't retreat. He charged towards his opponent once again. He needed to give Lu Ming enough time. However, Evil Sword Artist was severely injured after all. He had almost died in the ancient war. Until now, his strength was far from fully recovered. He was no match for the evil god tribe patriarch and was sent flying again. Not good. Lu Ming was so anxious that he tried his best to control the divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron. Not only did the 9 dragons attack the void, but the divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron also shone brightly as it blasted towards the void. That space continued to explode, heal, and then explode again. Quick, quick! Lu Ming was anxious because Evil Sword Artist couldn't hold on any longer. If this continued, Evil Sword Artist would definitely die. Once Evil Sword Artist died, Mulan's and Kenfei Ryu, who were in Evil Sword Artist's small world, would definitely die too. Lu Ming had to make the best use of his time. Roar! The 9 dragons roared and their bodies shone brightly. Beams of light shot out from the 9 dragons' bodies. It was extremely dazzling. Boom! Finally, the 9 dragons' bodies exploded. This explosion formed a terrifying energy. The space in this area was completely annihilated, turning into nothingness and chaos. No! The evil god tribe patriarch roared. Ha ha ha, great! Evil Sword Artist laughed. He no longer tried to stop the other party. In a flash, he charged towards the 3 experts from Two World City. With a wave of his energy, he lifted them up and flew into the distance. Lu Ming, that's enough. Let's go. Evil Sword Artist's voice rang in Lu Ming's ears. Lu Ming controlled the divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron and flew towards Evil Sword Artist. They met up and headed in the same direction. The 2 old ancestors of the evil god tribe joined forces and rushed towards that gigantic true dragon. That gigantic true dragon was no match for them, and its gigantic body began to crumble apart. Eventually, the entire body of the true dragon exploded, turning into a drop of fresh blood. With a flash, it disappeared from the area. A drop of blood. The 2 evil god tribe patriarchs were shocked. Then, they arrived at the original passageway. That stretch of void was rapidly healing. After it healed, there was no space left. It was exactly the same as the other regions. The tunnel had completely collapsed. Damn it! Kill those ants! The purple-haired patriarch of the evil god tribe roared and chased after Lu Ming, evil swordsman, and the rest. The other evil god tribe patriarch and the other evil god tribe patriarchs chased after Evil Sword Artist. Lu Ming controlled the divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron and flew with Evil Sword Artist. But at this moment, Lu Ming felt weak. Buzz! The divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron shook and shrunk rapidly. Lu Ming and Dandan flew out of the divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron. Then, the divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron split into 9 and flew into Lu Ming's glabella. At the same time, 9 drops of blood flew out of the divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron and entered Lu Ming's body. Whoosh! At this moment, a red light flashed in the distance. A drop of blood pierced through the void and flew into Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming was dumbfounded. He did not understand what was going on. But at this moment, he felt weak. Let's go. Evil Sword Artist waved his hand and swept Lu Ming and Dandan away. But Evil Sword Artist had not recovered from his injuries. In order to stop the evil god tribe patriarch, he had worsened his injuries. Although he was fast, there was a limit to his speed. Behind them, 2 figures chased after them at an alarming speed. It was the 2 evil god tribe patriarchs. We're doomed. We're doomed. Dandan wailed. Now that Evil Sword Artist was seriously injured and the divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron had run out of energy, How were they going to deal with the two evil god tribe patriarchs? You cowardly tortoise. You're no different from before. Evil sword artist glanced at Dandan indifferently and said disdainfully. What did you say? You better show some respect. Do you know how to respect your juniors? You're my junior, do you understand? Dandan was pissed and glared at evil swordsman. Oh? Is that so? Then I can only keep you here first. Maybe I can delay them a little. Evil sword artist said indifferently. Dandan immediately withered. He forced a smile and looked at evil sword artist with a gentle face. Don't be like this. I was just joking with you. We're old friends. Calm down, calm down. Ha ha ha. At the side, Lu Ming despised him. The three experts from Two World City despised him too. You're tuning into the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.